Hi there, I'm Rick Zamprin, and I hope you're having a swell day. Welcome to the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons, one of two features that I'm delivering to you during the CFL offseason. A new episode of Seasons lands on this channel every Tuesday, and a new edition of Legends drops every Thursday. And if you're a diehard Ticats fan, and I know there's many of you out there, you will definitely want to watch the next episode of Legends. Not that the other ones weren't any good, and I'm sure you enjoyed them. This one, I think you will enjoy immensely, coming up on Thursday. If this is your first time checking out the Fifth Quarter Show, please consider subscribing in time for the start of the 2025 CFL season. It's going to be here before we all know it. I also want to share a hearty thank you to everyone who has subscribed or clicked the like button and shared these videos with others. I truly appreciate it. It does mean a lot. Now let's dive into episode 13 of the Fifth Quarter Show Seasons. And today's focus is on 1965, an incredible year for football in Steel Town. But I want to mention a few other things before we get to that special season. The previous year, the first Tim Hortons opened on Ottawa Street North in Hamilton, and it's still operating today. In 1965, a baseball team from Stony Creek became the first from Canada to win a game at the Little League World Series, and the first from this country to play in the final, in which they lost 3-1 to the U.S. The Niagara Falls Flyers won their first Memorial Cup. The pension eligibility in Canada was lowered from 70 to 65, and the maple leaf became the national flag of our country. 1965 also marked the year that the Canadian Football League Players Association formed. After winning the Grey Cup in 1963 against the BC Lions, the Tiger Cats were roaring again in 64. Hamilton went 10-3-1, equaling their best single-season win-loss record since the Tigers and Wildcats merger in 1950. Head coach Ralph Sazio was rewarded for being named Coach of the Year, and receiver Tommy Grant recorded the only 1,000-yard season of his career, making 44 catches for 1,029 yards and 7 touchdowns, and he won the Most Outstanding Canadian Award. One of Hamilton's highlights in 1964 came in the East Final against Ottawa. The Rough Riders won the first game of the two-game total point series, 30-13 in the capital. But in the rematch at Civic Stadium the following week, the Ticats beat Ottawa 26-8 to win the series, 39-38. That victory set up a Grey Cup rematch against the 11-2 Lions, this time at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. BC redeemed themselves with an impressive 34-24 win over the Cats, giving the Lions their first championship. The 53rd Grey Cup was again awarded to Toronto's Exhibition Stadium in 1965, and the Ticats were extra motivated to be there and win it. With rookies such as Bill Danachuk and Dave Rooster Fleming, as well as veteran additions like Billy Ray Loughlin and Marty Martinello, Hamilton started the season on a 3-game winning streak. And a 17-2 victory over Montreal on Labor Day boosted the Ticats' record to 5-1. Hamilton closed out the regular season with 4 consecutive wins, including a 35-21 victory over Toronto to complete a 3-game sweep of the Argos that year. Veteran linebacker Zeno Cars was named Most Outstanding Canadian and a CFL All-Star, along with teammates Garney Henley, John Barrow, Billy Waite, Bronco Nagurski, and Loughlin. The Ticats swept Ottawa in the 2-game East Final, winning 18-13 and 17-7 to book a trip to the Grey Cup Final for the 5th year in a row and the 8th time in 9 years. Standing in their way was an old nemesis. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers went 11-5 in the regular season and finished 2 points behind the Calgary Stampeders in 1965. Winnipeg beat Saskatchewan in the West semifinal 15-9 and then ousted the Stamps 2-1 in the West Final to set up another championship tussle against the Ticats. It was the 7th time in 13 years that Hamilton and Winnipeg would meet in the Grey Cup. And in their previous 6 championship matchups, the Ticats had only won twice. The 53rd Grey Cup on November 27, 1965, became known as the Wind Bowl due to strong winds of up to 65 kilometers per hour. The daunting conditions led to an unprecedented agreement prior to kickoff between Sazio and Blue Bombers head coach Bud Grant. They agreed that all punts that were kicked into the vicious wind would be ruled dead as soon as the returner touched the football. And the wild win was a factor all game long, with the only scoring occurring when each team had the wind at their back. Hamilton scored 10 points in the first quarter thanks to a single on the opening kickoff, Dick Cohey's 7-yard touchdown run, and a safety conceded by Winnipeg. The Bombers answered with touchdown runs by Art Perkins and Leo Lewis in the second quarter and carried a 13-10 lead at halftime. In the third quarter, Joe Zuger threw a 69-yard touchdown to Willie Bethea, Hamilton's first completed pass of the game. The Cats earned 2 more conceded safeties from Winnipeg and added another rouge to lead 22-13 heading into the fourth quarter, where the Bombers would have the wind at their back. Norm Whitten kicked a field goal for the Bombers in the final period, but that's as close as they would get. Hamilton beat Winnipeg 22-16, with the 6-point margin equaling the 3 conceded safeties by the Blue Bombers. Hamilton had won their 4th Grey Cup since the 1950 merger and their 2nd championship in 3 years. And because the Ticats were chock full of great players and talented leaders, they would continue to be a force in the years to come. I'll expand on that in the next episode of the 5th Quarter Show seasons next week. And coming up on Thursday, episode 13 of Legends, and you won't want to miss that one. Don't forget to join me tonight, Tuesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for a live 1-hour-long 5th Quarter Show free agency spotlight. We'll look at which players have signed with other teams, who the Ticats have re-signed, and which newcomers will be donning the black and gold in 2025, and what still needs to be done to make this team a Grey Cup contender. Until then, Oskee Wee Wee.